but we are here. Welcome, everybody. Episode 4 of the SRTJovita show. Today we have Preston Patterson, former chief donut maker for Dodge. Welcome, Preston. How are you?
Thank you, thank you. I am good, actually. It's a really good day. It's 9 o'clock my time, so
I
you
know,
know,
sorry, it's a little late.
it's totally fine, totally fine. So I'm winding down on my end, but other than that, it's good. It's been a long, productive day, and I can't really complain.
Perfect. Well, what's the weather like? Where are you exactly?
Charlotte, North Carolina. So today we
Okay.
actually had a nice, I think it was like 75-degree day, so not too bad.
Is it
Driving with the windows down and enjoy the breeze.
so it's not smoky over there, right? There's a lot of
No,
places
no, no,
in
no.
Canada and in the US that are full of smoke right now. We
I was
are we
looking at
are
the
over
orange
there.
skies in New York, and that is not what's happening here. So,
Yeah, okay, well that's good.
what about
Well,
y'all? Are y'all getting that?
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from parts of Canada, and
Yep.
then it's mostly from us. I think part of it is most of it is us. We're the issue.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So, for those of you watching that don't know, Preston won a competition or a contest that Dodge had, and it was open to all US residents. And it was basically like you got to show your passion for Dodge. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your the process of entering, and yeah, kind of what your experience was like.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first, I do want to apologize if I'm a little shaky, y'all. I'm holding my phone in my hand, so you have to bear with me. But okay, so cool. So this is how it went. So, just from the very start, I ordered a Hellcat.
Okay.
And I saw that Dodge had this promotion going for like a ambassador for the brand. I was like, oh, this would be really cool. It'd be my second Dodge at the time. I definitely love the brand, and I mean, nobody thinks they're gonna win though. I call it the
Mhm.
car lottery. Like nobody thinks they're gonna win the car lottery. So I just entered, just to enter. I showed my personality, made a 2-minute video. It had to be 2 minutes long. They weren't looking for a really big celebrity or an internet personality. They was looking for just a regular person that they could give a really kick-ass opportunity to. So fast forward, I made a 2-minute video. I was just myself in the video, and I ended up winning this contest. It was 10 of us, and it was over 3 days that we did like various things for Dodge to pretty much see who the chief donut maker would be. I had a lot of really good contestants in there, but I ended up coming out, as the winner of the contest. And what I got was a nice 150K paycheck from that, and I got a Hellcat for a year, and I got to travel around the United States and just be a kick-ass brand ambassador for Dodge, driving a Hellcat for free for a year.
Yeah, and you know what? That was going to be my question. Was one of my questions was, did you get to keep the Hellcat? So you had to give it back.
Had to give it back. I was
Oh.
so heartbroken when when they finally said it, because I was like, all right, they're gonna just like keep it, keep it,
Oh,
keep it.
you didn't know until the end?
But what's that?
You didn't know until the end?
No, no, no. So it was more toward the final, I would say, like, that was left, and I found out then. So it was never
Oh.
like it was never really a conversation though per se.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Aubrey Freeman says it stayed clean though.
What's up, Aubrey? Aubrey owns the detail company that took care of my car every 2 weeks. I got the car detailed, and Aubrey owned Destination Detail that took care of my car. So thank you,
Oh.
Aubrey.
So you got 150K, and that was like a salary or whatever. And did you keep your normal job, like your whatever your regular job was? Because that was one of the things they said you were allowed to do.
Yeah, so I kept my job just because like it's my career, and I worked to get where I was. And for me, I if I was to let go of my job for another opportunity, it would have to like secure me for a minimum of 3 years before I could let it go, just because I worked to get where I was. And it was a side hustle. So you know, I could do it on the weekends, and I made posts during the week. And I don't know, I just couldn't let it up. Like how I explain it to people, because I had this question a lot, and this is how I explain it to people. Would you rather make, 150 a year, or would you rather make, let's throw a random number out there. This is not real, but would you rather make, 300 a year, 150 plus 150? So you got to look at it from that perspective. Like that can change your life, setting yourself up if you spend your money right.
Hmm. Okay, and then you got a whole bunch of swag that you got to wear, and you got to
Yeah.
do donuts whenever you wanted, or like, did it? Was it like they told you when you were allowed to do that, or how did that work?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So the donuts were on my leisure. Um, Now recording and getting on, because everything is legally approved, right? Because that's a corporation.
Right.
So getting it legally approved was a different story. So I had to be very careful where I filmed, who was in the video, what was in the background. So my donut videos did not happen as often as I would have liked it to happen, but it was a thing to where you had to make sure that you were representing a corporation as best as you could.
Hmm. So to speak to that a little bit, I mentioned to you that I was going to mention your YouTube before you got the Dodge gig. What are your thoughts on that now? Because
uh,
you know a lot of the stuff that you said, and like I was actually on a couple of podcasts, talking Mopars, and we actually had full on discussions about how Dodge picked their winner, and we had one of the contestants on. I can't remember his name, but he was on there too, and he had a lot of good things to say about you. So yeah, how do you feel now knowing like the things that you said about Dodge before, and how has your mind changed and your views on, Moparians and Dodge fans and people that own Mopars? And just so you know, like I'm not one of those people that does the takeovers, and like, I respect the brand, and I built a club in Canada, and we're family friendly, so we don't do any of that silly stuff. But yeah, I just want to kind of open it up to you, and how do you feel now?
yeah, so that's actually a really good question. I'm glad you asked. So, interesting thing, only women have asked me this question. So you would think that I would get this question more often, but I don't. And it's only women. And I respect, and I always say this, I respect you for asking that question, because what a lot of people will do will they will cast judgment off of what they see on the internet without a whole picture, right?
Hmm.
So when I made my videos and I touched on my three reasons why I wouldn't, purchase another Dodge.
Right.
A is this is YouTube. You
Yeah.
get paid off of clicks. Number one, always remember that. Number two, we here in Charlotte had been going through the takeover scene. It blew up really big here,
Hmm.
to where they did a really big bust, and they had like 9 counties come in to sweep the cars up. So what I seen from the Mopar community was what I had seen in my city. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until I got out and I traveled around the United States that I met people like you who thought very similar to me. And I realized that it was not everybody, it was just my area of people that were doing that. And
Hmm.
so it opened me up to realizing that a lot of people who are actually going to events aren't the crowd that are in the streets doing these illegal things. And so the real brotherhood of muscle represent the brand exactly. They feel the same way about the brand that I feel about it. So it definitely opened my eyes up, and it definitely showed me a separate side of what I had always seen. And I mean, I bought another Hellcat. I was coming back to the brand anyways, but do I still feel like the some of the cars are over modded? Absolutely, 100%, and that probably will never change. That's just my personal opinion. Do
Hmm.
I feel like they drug their feet with the 4-digit PIN code coming to the cars? 100%. And they knew that. And they actually asked me about that. And they actually admitted, like, yes, we did bring it out slow. So these are things that I feel. And not once did I bash the brand. I just spoke on what really happened. But the thing is, like, so many people wanted the position, they will find anything to say about me to try to make me look bad. But at the end of the day, I mean, I still was cheap donut maker, still got the check, still got the car, still got the represent the brand. So
Mhm. I think there was some confusion on your like quote YouTube personality and who you
mhm,
actually were.
mhm,
So I actually spoke to one of my friends, Matt Green from SRT Addicts,
yeah.
and I actually talked to him about you because I was a little bit upset, and you hear all these things and you see these
Mhm.
videos, and he's like, no, I actually met him. I think he interviewed you maybe, or you just talked to him at an event, and he was like, he's a really good guy, and I think he does care about the brand. So he had a lot of good things to say about you. And actually, Matt Hagan, he's probably going to be on my show next week. I'm just confirming that. But he had a lot of good things to say about you as well. And you were his pick. He actually told me, he said there was only one person that could drive like good. And he's like, it was him. So it was good to hear.
And I appreciate that, but I'm gonna also give you another story. So, my friend Grumpy Cat, before I had met him, he was probably he was a big critic of me, right? But I met Grumpy Cat, and we had a conversation about the video, and then he had a long conversation with me about my experiences. And after that, people were telling me not to approach him at my first event because he felt some type of way toward me. I
Really?
went and talked to him just because they said that. Like, I'm not the one to shy away from any type of like negative conversation. Like, if you have something to say about me, I'm the one to walk up to you and be like, hey, tell me why you feel that way about me, because we don't know each other. Right.
Mhm.
But after our conversation, we talked maybe a good 20 minutes. We ended up becoming friends, and he was not fond of me because of that video. And he was like, the video does not portray who you really are. And I'm
Mhm.
like, dude, it's the internet. People will make you who they want you to be on the internet. Like, I don't get bent out of place by these comments of people who, honestly don't know me. Because at
Mhm.
the end of the day, the people that do know that I have a big heart and I help many people around me that you will never see on social media. Like, I just don't put my whole life on social media.
So would you say that the videos that you made, against Mopar owners and they're all a certain way, blah, 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 that was just for show kind of thing? Is
No,
that
it wasn't for show. It wasn't for show. That's how I felt because of what I had seen in my area. But
okay?
it wasn't until I met actual Mopar or the brotherhood and sisterhood of muscle until
Yeah.
I realized, like, that is not what Dodge was portraying. These are not actual enthusiasts. These are people that just buy these cars to speed through the street and do donuts. So
Hmm.
there's two completely different type of crowds to buy these cars.
Hmm. So speaking of donuts again, so you obviously had to drive properly on the streets. You couldn't do anything reckless or safe because you were under contract. So you, especially at events too, like you're always representing Dodge.
Yes.
You had to be careful. And I mean, I reached out to you before, and I had to email in all my questions and everything.
Yeah.
And I never did
Yep.
hear back, but
They were protective over
yeah,
me. So
I'm glad that I got a chance to talk to you finally and ask you those questions once and for all.
yeah. I'm glad you did too, because I'd rather you ask me
Mhm.
than making a judgment off of the internet. Because again, it's easy to create a persona of a person without knowing that person. It's very easy to cut and paste words and make somebody say something that they really did not say.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you asked me. I appreciate that. So thank you.
Hmm. So you still have a Hellcat of your own, or what are you driving now?
I do not have a Hellcat now. I am TBD on my vehicle that is coming. I do have something coming. I
Okay.
ordered it in December and it just has not arrived yet.
Is it in the same family or a different family?
Well, same family.
Okay. Okay.
Same family.
So I guess you know what, there the proof is in the pudding. You just ordered something that is still in the family. So that's good to hear.
Yes, yes. No, I love the brand. I absolutely love the brand. and I didn't order another charger. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there because I wanted a jailbreak, and allocations were gone when I was ready to order one because I am, for one, a big finance person, and I'm not gonna go make a purchase to put myself in the hole just to have a car for social media. So I had to make sure the stars aligned before I made the purchase on this vehicle that was coming, and I had to make sure that I can afford it and not just purchase
Right. So did you ever consider one of the last call models? Because I would have thought that would have been one of your big picks.
it. Yeah, I did consider it, but contrary to popular belief, I was in the same boat as everybody else with paying the markups on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair
So
enough.
no,
I think you
I
needed
didn't
one
bother
piece
with
of
it.
the track to get
Oh,
one.
one more time. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, I thought maybe you would have the inside track since you were still with Dodge at that time.
Well, me too. But no, nobody did. It was a free for all on them, honestly.
So, tell me about the Dodge 17 or the Demon 170 reveal because you were there. I saw you on the live that they had for the reveal. Tell me what that was all about.
Yeah, so the Demon 170 reveal was a blast. They brought like everybody that supported the brand out, from influencers to staff, and I got to see all of the faces of the people that I had met along the way, and it was absolutely cool, especially watching the very last hoorah from Dodge, right? 1,000 horsepower, like that's crazy to think about. And just watching the vehicle be brought in on a helicopter, to go down the drag strip making a run, to doing the burnout the second time, like words can't describe the opportunity that was allotted to me. Like I can't thank them enough. I can't thank the brotherhood and the sisterhood enough for the support. Like I can't thank my family enough, my friends enough for the support. It was an absolute amazing opportunity. Being able to, honestly, I got to see Goldberg again, right? So getting to see him again, you know, the guy that made the original decision at the end. So it was just so surreal. I got to meet Jay Leno for the first time. You know, I took a picture with Tim. It was just like mind blowing. The 170 is going to be a beast when it hit the road.
Yeah, I've met Jay Leno once, and I've actually gone to see his personal car collection, and it's amazing. And he's so down to earth and humble. Um,
Yes.
can say that the same thing about all the rest of the celebrities that you met? They're all like real car people, or just so
Yes. So the biggest car guy slash the most down to earth person was Goldberg. I watched this guy on TV, and he was like the most intense guy on TV. But Goldberg is the nicest dude in the world. He has the biggest heart. So he actually surprised me because like I said, I've only known him from TV. There you go. You create an image of what you see. And that was it right there. Man, demonology was another big one too. Like I
Yeah.
followed him on social media for a while, but
Mhm.
he was like completely open arms to me. Matt Hagen was another one that was open arms to me. Weston was another one. Weston Chaplin was another one that was open arms to me. Like I can go on and on, you know, of all these people. Samuel Hunet, like I didn't meet one bad apple. And this goes back to saying that originally my opinion and what I saw in my area was not the representation of Dodge, because the people that I met along the way slash at this event were completely opposite of what I had seen in my experiences.
Mhm. So 1,025 horsepower. Did you get to drive it? Did you get to
No, no,
did you get to
no, no. I wish. I wish. We were all in the little trailer talking about that. Goldberg was like, "Why didn't they have me on there?" I'm like, dude, I wanted to be down there too. I mean, come on, we all wanted to be down there. So it was just funny, just seeing that everybody wanted to drive that car.
Yeah, so Tobin Dodge, Chop Joshua, he was there. I saw him on TV. I didn't see you. You didn't really you didn't have a huge part in the in like in the reveal and the little interviews that they did, which I was actually quite surprised. I thought that you would have been first and foremost. And they had Alex Taylor. I've met her before too. She's really cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So did they say anything to you about being, yeah, more of a presence there? Because was that your last event?
It was, and no, I think they went for the bigger personalities on this one.
I feel like your role was a little bit subdued. Like I thought it was going to be like this huge, like I mean, throughout the year, like you did go to a lot of events. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to any of them because they were all.
I know. I was hoping to meet you at one of them.
I know. I was actually supposed to be at the reveal, and the event just before that, but it didn't work out scheduling wise. But yeah, I was hoping to see a lot more, and I feel like they didn't push the role enough. Do you agree?
So I agree wholeheartedly. I think that if they do this again going forward, and this is all known right here, so this is nothing new. So my opinion on it was like it was marketed really good in the beginning, and then it kind of was just left there after I got into the position. And
Hmm.
so there were times where it made it appear as though I may not have been maybe posting enough or doing enough when that may not have been the case. The I feel like with the right push behind this position, you can put somebody with 0 followers and you can push them to well over 100,000 with the right push behind them. But
Yeah.
you got to have that buy-in from every direction to make that happen, and it can't be a sporadic post here or there. Like this person has to be your ambassador. He has to or she has to represent everywhere, and you have to be behind that person. And I think that's kind of where the ball got a little tossed in in the position.
Talking Mopars, Chris says Alex Taylor's a Chevy girl. She is, but they have a Hellcat that they race as well. And I think, because she's on Motor Trend or on the whatever that show is called,
Yep.
that's owned by Motor Trend. She's on that, and that's probably why she was on it. So do you think that you gave it your all for the year that you did it? Was there anything that you would change?
I mean, honestly, the only opportunity out of this, because I don't, believe that there's anything that doesn't happen for a reason. The only opportunity I can take out of this is if there's a part two, put a little more emphasis behind that person um, being the face of the brand. But other than that, the events were spot on. The people that I met were spot on. The Hellcat was spot on. Giving me a Hellcat for a year was spot on. The salary made it worth everything because it was fun traveling at first, but I got a 7 and an 8 year old, and let me tell you, like, there are
Hmm.
times I'm on the road, I'm like, whew, I would like to be at home right now.
Yeah.
So, um, so that's I think that will be something if they did it again. Definitely whoever in that position will have to think about that because there was a lot behind the scenes that people wouldn't see that didn't work for the company. So there was a lot of work behind the scenes to keep the wheels turning. So I literally worked 7 days a week, like literally the
Really?
whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just a little bit about me that you might not know. I have a few SRTs, SRT4 neons. I have an ACR edition neon. Um, SRT4s, obviously, not just regular neons. And then I have a Super B, which is one of 10, the way it was ordered. It's a satin vapor edition. So I have a huge passion for Mopar, and it's not just a passion, it's a way of life for me. As you can see behind me, it's incorporated into my life, my career. I'm, die cast, I collect. I'm a huge collector. I also sell them. And it's become my life, and that's one of the big reasons why I started this show is to interview, builders, people in the automotive industry, not just Moparians, but all sorts, diecast people that design diecast, people that are in, like the movie industry, all sorts. So Mopar started that for me, and that was really my drive behind how I came to be, how I am who I am. As you can see, I'm wearing my SEMA jacket. I go to SEMA every year. I started a car club in Canada. I have over 2,000 members. We just stopped doing events kind of when COVID hit because that kind of just ruined everything. And I think that's when a lot of the rowdy people started coming out too, because it was like they started getting bored.
Yeah. Yes. And that's when our area here had the uptick in takeovers once COVID came, and then it just became a fad. Like you can literally just log online and you can see it. It's not even one area anymore. It's literally everywhere that's doing it. So yeah, COVID definitely started it, but in my area, they are like cracking down with undercovers mixed in the car scene now.
Yeah, there's always loopholes though. Like there's some areas even locally here that are like industrial areas and
Hmm.
they can kind of get away with doing stuff there and the cops can't really do anything. So it just depends. Yeah, I mean something God forbid something bad is going to happen to somebody one day and then things will change. I mean, it's sad
But
that
I'm okay with the industrial area, right? Like if you want to go in the industrial area and take it over and have fun and nobody's harmed, cool. I'm okay with that. But when you're in the middle of the intersection and you have parents around you, you got people walking dogs, and you're doing donuts in the intersection, like that's reckless. I will never support that at all. I will never share a video. I will never like a video, and you'll be surprised how many people send videos to me like that to my DMs, and
yeah.
I'm like, dude, what? You're not gonna catch a like from me. I'm not even gonna reply to that. That's reckless.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the amount of people getting hurt, you see all those videos
Yeah.
where they
Yes.
get hit and
Yeah.
they get a lot of hits for it, but it's horrible. We don't see the aftermath of like how many broken bones these people have.
And we're just in a different time where it's instant gratification now, where you grow up with tapping a like button and seeing followers, and then that's what motivates people to make videos. Like I feel like people are getting away from their passion and they're chasing fame. So I'm not that type of person. You can ask anybody around me. I'm the same person here as
Mhm.
I'll be walking down the street. So what you see is like honestly what you get. And I don't know, like it's just the world is changing.
Yeah, but that's why I mean I'm doing this show too, is kind of to hear the stories and the experiences of people that are genuinely in the Mopar scene, the car scene, because they're building a race car or they're building a car or they, this car has been passed down from generations. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're teaching you have two sons, right?
Hmm.
I'm sure that you're teaching them, about the cars, bringing them to events, taking them to car shows, and that's how they learn. And then they learn to respect vehicles as well, right?
Yep. My son is diehard Dodge Charger. Literally, one going down the street, he yells at the window and taps on a Dodge Charger, Dodge Charger. So all I'm gonna say him because my oldest son just care about how they work. All my youngest son cares about is literally Mopars. So he is right on par.
Yeah, I mean, I was like that as a kid too. All the high impact colors and the Looney Tune characters and I'm in love with anything with a wing. So I love Daytonas, I love Superbirds.
Super good. Yep.
So let me ask you this: what's your favorite? Like, what would be your dream car? It doesn't have to be a Mopar; it could be any car. What would your
My
dream?
easily hands down an ACR. Well, actually, I saw the Voodoo in
What's
person,
your dreaming?
the Voodoo Viper
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
in person, and fell in love with that package. So it's either an ACR or Voodoo. I've
Okay.
always wanted that Viper ever since. Again, this goes back to when I was on the show, right? Like that poster on my wall. I had that growing up. Like I've always wanted a Viper, and I was this close to having one. It slipped through my fingers about 5 months ago. So I always wanted a Viper, and it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get a Viper for sure.
Yeah, I've driven a couple of Vipers and I had a Viper truck.
Mhm.
I think if I like won $1 million, I'd probably buy one, but for everyday driving, it's not the most comfortable car. I mean, obviously, it's built to be a race car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think I would get a Superbird, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about an older car? Are you
Older
into
car.
like hot rods or anything like that, muscle cars or anything?
Um,
Or are you new school? You like the new muscle?
I'm more toward new muscle, honestly, because the point of where I was first able to purchase my first vehicle and actually get into fixing them, just the overall car, tuning them, just respecting the car. Uh, it was more so the newer age vehicles. I wasn't that guy that grew up around a bunch of cars. Like I came from very humble beginnings. Let's call it that, right? So I didn't
Hmm.
have that type of exposure until I was older and able to do things like that. So I mean, for me, it's gonna be newer because that's where I kind of fell in love with cars.
Yeah. So Chris from Talking Mopars says you both need classic Mopars. I agree. I do. I definitely do. The reason I don't have one is because I'm waiting for the right car, and there are a lot of time and money that needs to go into it, and
Yeah,
I can't do all the work myself.
yeah.
So it can become very expensive. But I'm confident that the right one is going to come along one day.
How many years does it take before a car becomes a classic?
Oh,
I mean, this is me asking you because I don't know. I'm asking
well, I
because
don't know
there's
if
a
you
there's
would
a time frame on it where
well,
they
insurance wise, there is.
yeah.
Like, you can get the collector plates after, is it like 25 or 30? I think it's 25 years. You can get collector plates. You aren't wrong, Davida. Okay. Oh, Chris is just like, so yeah, for insurance reasons, I think, yeah, it is 25 years.
25, okay.
Well, personal, like for a person, I mean, every car enthusiast, their car is like that's their grail, right? Like the Super V that I have, I love it. I'll probably never get rid of it. But if I got a Daytona or a Superbird, it's obviously already a classic, but that would be my grail piece for sure.
Absolutely, I respect that. So when I was at Mecum and we had all those Superbirds lined up, I was like,
Oh yeah.
this is like $10 million right here, just easily.
Yeah, I know
And
they're
they
really
had
expensive. Like
every
they probably
single
this
color.
redone.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, probably like 200K for like a nice redone one. They also
Yeah.
have Graveyard Cars did one with a Hellcat engine in it.
It's crazy to see what people do with cars. And I don't know. I think that's what I love about cars is because it brings people together in in a way that I feel like other things don't. Like you can be a man, you can be a woman, you can be black, you can be white. But once a car pull up and you have that common love, all you see is a person there, and all y'all do is talk about that car. And that's what I love about cars. Like it brings people together.
Hmm. I mean, it definitely does. I mean, Talking Mopars myself, like all these shows started off because of that common love for Mopar, right? And I think a lot of people, like in the beginning when they didn't really know who you were, we wanted you to go out to shows and talk to people and see people's bills and see their passion, and you could see it when they're telling these stories and the history of them. That's what I think a lot of people wanted you to do. And I think it sounds like you've learned a lot and changed your opinion on, Moparians as a whole. And you
Yeah,
got to see
so
all aspects of it.
I in the beginning I was not able to go to things like that because they were trying to figure out how to let the position be its position because it hadn't been fleshed out yet. So everything that I was doing was creating the position. So in the beginning, I had to get approvals to go to positions. And either I could go or I couldn't go.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, it was like, well, you're representing Dodge, so no, like we don't want you to do that
Mhm.
because any statement you make will be a statement on the brand. So we have to be careful with where we send you now. So I don't think I would have had that ability in the beginning to do that. And
Mhm.
it wasn't until toward the end that I was able to start getting out more where things loosened up a little bit.
So, did you used to go to car shows and different car
Yeah.
events beforehand?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I still
And
do now. I still do now. I just had to cut back the past year. I
and do
was
you have any other brands that you're passionate about or anything that like I mean you've owned a lot of different brand cars and you don't have to be all Mopar, you don't have to be Dodge. So is there anything else that, piques your interest or something that you feel strongly about?
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind talking about anything. So yeah, I recently got an Acura Integra, a '95 Integra, and I made a YouTube video about it. I told a story about it. The Integra had history with me, and make a long story, bought for me before she passed away, and I had lost my '95 Integra um, before I had a chance to invest money into it to make it a car that I could keep forever. And so just recently I bought another one because I had the opportunity and then the sentimental value behind it. So yeah, 100%, absolutely. I'm a JDM guy as well as a Mopar guy.
Mhm.
I don't believe that you should silo yourself off into one area because there are so many great there are so many great brands out there, right? Like I'm not an all Jordans person. I'm not a all Adidas person. Like I'm not an all Saucony person, right? Like I like to be able to experience them all to be able to give people my honest opinion about it, and that goes for my cars as well. I appreciate some brands more than others, but I still like to be able to have that informed conversation about it with people. So I
Mhm.
like to experiment and dabble around. And then I
So
review cars as well. So
so what
there
do
you
you
go.
think of the new Fast and Furious movie? Did you see it?
I
Because
have
that's
not, and this is why I haven't seen it yet. I want to take my son with me, and
oh
his last day of school is tomorrow. So during the week we can't go, and I got him every other weekend. So I am waiting on him to go because he's a diehard car guy just like me, and I got to go with my son.
yeah, I haven't actually seen it yet, but yeah, I'm interested. Just reading this message here. So it's just a message or a comment from Chris saying, a lot of people didn't or felt strongly about you in the beginning because we all thought that you didn't have the passion behind um, the brand and the drive and I mean like I said myself included there was podcasts all talking about you and how you portrayed yourself before you got this position and what was Dodge's process and how did they miss those videos and that kind of stuff and obviously things change and I had you on the show because I wanted people to see a different side of you as well as now that you're not the chief donut maker because that's also kind of produced in a way, right? Because they want you to look a certain way and act a certain way, and now you're free, so to speak. So I was really interested to see if you were still going to be with the brand or not. And obviously, you're kind of split. I mean, a lot of households are like, my husband has a Jetta TDI, and he also has a 2001 Dodge Ram manual. So
Yeah.
it just all depends. And he's looking at buying a different truck out of the brand. So I told him that we might be getting a divorce, but hey.
You know what? I like that. Tell your husband to be careful.
Well, it's like, okay, the Jetta TDI, the 2004. So that's for his daily driver, and he puts about 1,000 kilometers on it per week. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You can, you can drill that one into the ground. That's fine. But a Ford or a Chevy truck, and I was like, okay, this is where I draw the line now.
Exactly. And you know what? Here's the thing also, like you got one life to live, right? Like make that life as fulfilling as possible. Imagine if in the beginning when everybody was disappointed in me, if I would have gave up, I would have never had the experiences I have to give you now. I'd have never been able to have conversations with people outside of social media about my life challenges, my struggles, and how to overcome them. I like to tell people like I'm just a regular guy. If I can make it to chief donut maker for the biggest muscle car brand in the world, like you can make it wherever you want to make it as well. Like use me as motivation. Don't use me as any hatred to fuel whatever dislike you have for me. Like let's all work together and grow together. And I used to tell people at events, if you need anything from me, reach out to me. I can't promise you I can do anything for you or get you anything special, but like let's network. Let me help you if you just need somebody to fall on. I am really just a regular guy, at the end of the day, who got a really good opportunity, who loves his family. So like make your life worth it. Like fulfill that need to continue to grow and be a good person. Like we need good people in the world.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's what I mean. A lot of people in the industry, that's what we all do, and that's how we meet each other, and that's how we help each other out. And sometimes all it takes is one little post on social media, and
Yes.
people are
Yeah.
like, "Hey, yeah, I've got this part, or I've got that, or I
Yes.
can help you do this." And so, I mean, that's a lot of the reason why I do videos as well. So, yeah,
And you know what? You are doing what you love right now, right? Like you have a
definitely.
podcast going, you have your social media going. You are doing what you love, and I respect that. For anybody that is out there that's chasing their dream, like I just respect that so much. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell anybody else. If there's anything that I can do to help you out as well, let me know. I don't mind. I'm not the richest guy in the world. I don't have every connection, but there might be something I can do to help out your channel just a little bit, or even anybody that's here in the chat room right now. Same with you. I don't mind at all.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, right. It was Artie Shaw. That's who it was that we had on on Talking Mopars.
Oh yeah, yeah, Artie, man.
Yeah.
Artie is a handful. That is my boy, but he's a handful. I love talking to Artie.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of connections as well, and I told him the same thing. And he came out to the Demon 170 reveal, and I introduced him to as many influencers as I could. So I help people out any way I can.
Hmm. I do the same. And I'm Canadian, so we're all nice.
Yeah, I went to when I went to Detroit, I crossed over the line into Canada, so I like to think that I've been everywhere myself too. Even
Oh,
though that probably don't count, but for me, it was like, okay, I've been to Canada, y'all. So that's the coolest thing I've probably done in a long
nice.
time.
So do you have any other events? Like, what's your next event that you're planning to go to?
So it's kind of up in the air right now. My next event, there is a drift event out in not Charlotte, in New York, that a connection I made, that they asked me to come to. So I want to go to that as well. Demonology has an event in Rockingham, which is about 3 hours away from me. That's in August. So I'm going to his event in Cars and Coffee. I'm a frequent at Cars and Coffee around here. So I don't know. Just whenever I see an event and I know I can make it where there's nothing planned, I'll be there. I love going to those things. I don't really care what kind of car it is, and I'm just a petrol head, honestly. And that's just what I tell people. I'm a petrol
So you're into Euro cars too?
head. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any? I was gonna say, do you have any plans to go to SEMA? Actually, this year they've opened it up, so it's not just for vendors or anybody that's part of a brand. So you can go to, I think they have SEMA Fest, and then they're
Hmm.
going to have the last day, I believe, open to the public. Do you
Yep.
have any plans to go to that?
I've been asked twice now.
Okay.
So TBD is what I tell people. TBD. It depends on who I go out there with. I may go and come out there with a brand. I'm not 100% sure yet. I don't want to jinx that, but we'll see. It's in talks.
A brand or like a vendor?
Uh, I mean, I guess you'll call them a vendor as well, but it's a pretty reputable brand.
Okay, cool. Well, that's exciting. I'm not sure if I'm going to go this year. I feel like the SEMA show has changed a lot in the last couple of years. So I'm actually really interested to see what big brands will be there because a lot of them pulled out last year.
Yes.
So I still need to register for that. So I think I'm probably going to do that. Anything else? Anything else you want to bring up or clear the air about, or I don't know, anything?
Man, I'm a pretty open book. So if anybody ever have a question, please feel free to DM me. Um, you will see many different vehicles on my YouTube channel for those that follow me or those that want to come to the page. Like the content has to morph, have to evolve.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, besides that, like I'm an open book. If you decide to go to SEMA, let me know, please, so I can try to coordinate that as well. Well, if
That would
I
be
can make it. Um, but I mean, literally, I'm an open book. And what my Instagram tells it all about me. My personal Instagram, you see family and cars. That's all you see, and brand collaborations because there's a lot more of those now.
yeah, I need to get behind do the brand collabs because that would be good. And you gotta send demonology my way. He probably gets so many messages from people, so I'm just a little fish. He won't reply to probably to my messages, but you gotta
Oh
send.
man, yeah, I'll make that connection tomorrow for you.
Oh, nice, thanks.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so it's been a lot of fun talking to you. My last question for you. Now, this is a doozy. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
What's your favorite donut?
My
I ask everybody
favorite
this
donut.
one.
So this is easy because I'm a donut connoisseur.
Yeah.
So I love my glazed blueberry donuts from Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, okay. We don't have
Die hard.
nice. Okay, we don't
Yeah.
have Dunkin', so I'm gonna have to try that. Um,
What do y'all have there?
we have like Tim Hortons is our big thing.
Yes, 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 yes.
We do have Krispy Kreme. We do have a couple of Krispy Kremes. So those are good. But I just like the plain glazed ones from there. Everything else is too
Oh
sweet.
yeah. Yeah, and that's why I stopped going to Krispy Kreme because I felt like it was too sweet. And Dunkin', the um, the blueberry glaze is I don't know, it's perfect. It's like a mixture of just cake and just light glaze. So I gotta get one tomorrow.
I actually had a dream about donuts last night. I have no idea. Must be because our show came up, and I was like, "Oh man!" I woke up thinking like, "Oh, I should get some donuts for the show. That'd be so funny."
you
Um,
know, before I did that Dunkin' Donuts commercial,
oh, you
if
did?
they would have literally looked at how much money I had spent there, they would have been like, "Well, this makes sense to bring them on for the commercial because that's like my secret obsession that I don't talk about because I'm like in the fitness, and so I feel bad when I talk about donuts, but like I'm secretly a donut guy,
I
so
didn't
it's
know.
beautiful."
I didn't know that you did a commercial. I'm gonna have to look that up. But funny story, my sister, when she's not a car girl at all, not into cars, and she saw the poster I made for the show with the donuts, and it says Chief Donut Maker, and she goes, "Did you spell that wrong? Was it supposed to be Chef Donut Maker?"
I got that a lot out there. They were like, "Wait, you're the chief donut maker. Like, you make the donuts." And I'm like, "Elaborate." And they were like you make donuts that you can eat. And I'm like, "No. Think of it as a car." And they were like, "Oh." I literally got that question every event. That was a very common question.
Oh, that's so funny. At the SEMA show, actually at the Mopar booth, they actually had donuts. which was cool one day. Before the
Oh, it must have been a day that I wasn't there because I would have been over at that booth. I did not know about that. I feel like they secretly did that when I left there.
Yeah, it was like in the back room. You had to go in the back room.
I didn't know. Nobody told me. Dodge, if you see this, if you're watching this, and I hope you do see something like I did not get donuts at SEMA, and I feel some type of way about that. What?
You know, I was originally gonna call like this show, not SRTJovita show. I was gonna call it what is I gonna call it? Donuts and shoot, I can't even remember. But it was supposed to have donuts in it. It was gonna be like talking about cars and donuts, something like that. It was gonna
Okay,
be
yeah.
something like that. And I was gonna make every person on the show have a donut. Like they go get one, and then I have donuts and eat them, and then someone's like, you know what that's gonna do to you, right? Like every single show you're gonna be eating donuts. And I was like, yeah, maybe, maybe not.
Fat free, sugar free. Don't worry about it. We're good. Yeah.
But actually what's big here is the donut holes. And we call them Timbits. That's like a huge thing.
Donut hole. Are those like the small
So those are
donuts?
simple ones. Yeah.
Huh. Those are popular there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. People buy like the big box of them. And that's what people usually eat. Cause then you don't feel so bad eating like 20 of them. When that really the equivalent to like 5 donuts.
I think it's the psychology behind that
It is. It is.
one. The small donuts, they're here, but I wouldn't call them like popular.
Oh, okay. They are
Yeah.
really big here. Yeah.
We do like the dozen, and I'm not, I don't do dozens, y'all. But if I did do a dozen, it'd be a dozen glazed blueberry. But I would never tell y'all I did that. So there you go.
Actually, I have one more question. I totally forgot. So Hot Wheels just did a game show type of thing with a contest, and you get to win, some money, and then they build the car on the show. It just started, and I was wondering if you cast for that or not, or did you get asked to be on it, or because it's
No,
to
no, no. So that's an interesting question because I actually thought that there was going to be a Chief Donut Maker Hot Wheel collaboration, and it wasn't one because I knew that the brand and Hot Wheels were close in a sense, right? If I can use that word. So I thought there was going to be one, but there wasn't. When I saw that, I actually myself was like, oh man, that would have been great to do that. So yeah, no.
Yeah, 'cause there's an Instagram personality, Hurt Life. So he was one of the judges.
Mhm.
I mean, he's in the automotive world. I think just Dodge. And actually, casting reached out to me when they told me that they were going to be filming in Europe and told me to apply. And they talked to me on the phone. And then I just never got called. It was so sad. And then I thought about you, and I thought, oh, that would be interesting if they reached out to you because you're kind of a personality now and you won that competition. So maybe they would put you on it. So that's interesting.
No, no calls. No calls. That would have been nice, but no calls over here.
And so are you looking at any new opportunities in like, TV and all that kind of stuff? Film?
Yep. And no, so not per se movie and film. If I did anything, I think at the moment I would like to do commercials. I've done a couple so far now with Dodge, and what I can tell you is that they are very enjoyable in bites because once you start doing movies, I agree with talking Mopars. They did screw up with that one. They should definitely had you on there. But one, once literally lost my train of thought just now. What was the question?
Talking about commercials.
Oh
You
yeah.
said
So
people forgot.
once you're on a set doing a commercial, like it can take anywhere from like 3 hours to like 8 hours. When we filmed Chief Donut Maker, we were on set. Like first day was like 12, second day was 13, second day was 14 hours. It probably longer than that. So I can only imagine how long it would take to like do a TV show or a movie, and I wouldn't want to give up my life unless it was worth it. And from what I see now, like it can be very tedious. Not saying I don't want to do it, but it would just have to be worth it.
Cool. Well, if you want to throw my hat in the ring for a Dodge commercial one day, you go right ahead. I give you the permission to do that.
You know what? I will definitely do that. If they reach out to me and ask me to do anything with them, I haven't we haven't spoke since Chief Donut Maker ended. So if when they do, I'm sure they will. I'll definitely be more than happy to throw your name in the hat.
Well, thank you. I just
Absolutely.
want to do a time check because I know that you said you didn't have a lot of time. We're almost at an hour. Are you good to still talk, or do you need to go?
What time is it? Hold on one second. Let me check my clock.
Yeah, it's about 5 to 7.
I mean, 5 more minutes. I'll be okay. If you had a couple more questions, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Do you
just to
have?
let y'all know, 10 o'clock is usually my bedtime. Yes, you can call me old, whatever you want. You're right. I go to bed early. I got to go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah, no worries. Do you have any questions for me?
Um, I think the biggest thing that not necessarily question that I could say for you is that like right now you have a really good thing going here with this platform, and I'm gonna follow it to see where this podcast go. But definitely, no matter what happened, don't give this up because this is really cool.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And like I don't have a lot of people that, like I was telling you, there's not a lot of people that log in live, but I'm hoping that it does build traction. And even if it doesn't, you know what? This is like the one thing that I look forward to every week. I have different people on. Like I'm hoping Matt is able to come on next week. If not next week, he is going to come on. He's already agreed to do that. And the thing that I love about it is I'm not scripted. I just love to see where the conversation goes. So
Yes.
it'll be really fun once we get more people um like logged in and asking questions, and it's a little bit more interactive. I think that'll be really cool. But I
Yes.
like that this was raw and like honest.
Yep.
That's what I like about it. It's not scripted, so that people they can't get ready for the questions. And same with me. Like I don't write anything down. It's just it is what it is, right? So
Yep.
that's what I like about it because it's authentic and honest. So I thank you for being honest with us and telling us your experience. And it sounds like the Chief Donut Maker for a year was a really good opportunity for you. It was really positive, and
Yes.
you got to change people's minds and ideas that they had about you, so that's another good thing.
And I didn't even go in. I didn't even go in with the mindset to do that. Like I truly, genuinely didn't. I'm not gonna say I didn't care, but like I didn't really care, right? Like people felt how they felt about me. And I just went in with the mindset that I'm gonna be me. And either they're gonna accept it or they're not. And then once people met me, the feedback 10 out of 10 times was like, oh wow, you're nothing like I thought you were gonna be. And I'm like, well, how'd you think I was gonna be? You didn't judge me from a video, did you?
Yeah,
So, and that was how it always went. So, I appreciate you for having me on here. Thank you for letting me speak on it. Thank you for asking the question. And again, if there's someone that you want me to reach out to from the Mopar world to help you get them on the show, just ask me. Demonology, consider that done. I'll reach out to him and talk to him about that tomorrow.
yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think it's really good. I don't know if you've been on any shows or answered any of those questions, because I don't like watch a lot of podcasts or anything like that. So I didn't really have any backstory either. I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to ask him some questions about my own experience and how I felt about it, and what I've seen. Because I mean, there's a couple events that I saw you at online, and Demon 170 was the last one, and I was watching that. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's really good.
I've done a couple podcasts. I did one with Meekum. I did a radio interview. And now I've done a couple TV things for Motor Trend. So nothing per se about tell me about the video. Like everybody was just like, this is real. Most of the people, like everybody, actually was like, we seen the video, we don't really care. Like tell us about Dodge. That's literally how it's always been. Is people gonna form opinions, we don't really care. That's what everybody always does. I'm like, okay, cool. You need my explanation.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad that I asked you the hard questions then.
You did. No question is too hard for me because I'm just going to be honest about it. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to, walk around the question. I'm just going to give you an honest, raw answer.
Hmm. Okay, cool. And I mean, I think when we were having all those discussions, you weren't able to come on the shows and defend yourself or tell your side about it because you were already in the Dodge,
Yes.
under their contract. So
There was none of that. There was no interviews. There was none of that at all. And then again, they were just probably protecting their investment, just like the NBA does, just like the NFL, just like the NHL, right? They're protecting their investment. So there was none of that. So to anyone that reached out to me, a lot of people did. Please don't take it the wrong way. Like I couldn't have these conversations because I was under contract.
yeah, no, for sure. One place I really like to go visit is Radford, driving school.
Oh my God! Wait till you see the video I post tomorrow.
Oh, really? Yeah, I know that you've been there a few times, and I was like, huh. I reached out to them, but of course they're not gonna message me. But you just kind of have to go, I guess, and sign up for it and see what it's all about.
You'll have the time of your life. It is like a playground for adults, except you're in cars. So if you love cars, which you do, you will have the time of your life. You learn car control, you learn how to drive on a track. Like you literally learn everything. You sit in a classroom, you learn in there. It's amazing. And they feed you. There you go.
Yeah, oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. They're in Arizona.
They're in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Next
It's
time
a
I'm out
beautiful area.
that way.
They got a drag strip out there as well. So it is a beautiful area. And the cars are so well maintained.
And they have Hellcats, right? Like there's a lot of different.
Oh yeah, it's a sea of Hellcats. You got red eyes, demons. The Viper they had out there went to auction, so that's gone. But it is truly a spectacle of art when you go out there. So I thought I seen it all, but when I went out there, my jaw dropped. So that's literally how the inventory is. But it's so fun, especially when they teach you how to skid, how to control a car under ski, and they have this machine that's hooked up to the charger, and it like goes up. I can't even explain it. You just have to go, but you learn how to like control a car that slides out of control. It's amazing.
Yeah, that seems like it would be really fun. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. All
Just
right. Well, I
that's
think
amazing.
your time is up and you got to go to bed. So
Yes,
I
yes.
thank you so
Thank
much for being on the show. This was so fun. And yeah, thank you very much for being on the show.
you are welcome. Thank you for having me, and thank everyone for taking the time to come out and just hear me talk to Jovita. So I see you have a lot of fans on here.
Thank you for calling me Beauty CP Zone 1. Fans. It's like the one person. All right. Thanks. And we'll hope to see you again.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to have Matt Hagan, champion funny car driver, on next week. And if not next week, he will be on. So we've got some really cool guests on the roster for the next couple weeks. So it's every Thursday, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Again, I'm doing this all for you guys. Well, and for myself because it's fun. So I will see you next week. Have a good day, guys.